Barrier Fencing Supply is a fencing wholesaler and distributor based out of Supply, North Carolina. Whether you need fencing, fencing products, fencing accessories, or various other construction materials related to your fencing needs, we have the products you are looking for at today's most competitive prices around. Ask us today about bulk pricing packages. Call 910-269-8661. Contact us by email at sales@barrierfencingproducts.com. Barrier Fencing Supply, proud supporter of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast.
Hey, good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another Inside edition of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast with Kip Thompson. We just heard from one of our big show sponsors, Barrier Fencing Supply, out of Supply, North Carolina. They do a huge business, wholesale fencing prices. They've got bulk package prices. Hey, you need to go check those guys out today. Barrier Fencing Supply out of Supply, North Carolina. They are a huge supporter of our show, and we're so thankful and excited to have them as part of our team. Also, tonight's show is being brought to you in part by Atwell Exterior Services out of Greenville, North Carolina. We'll hear from them as we close out tonight's show. Hey, we're rolling in to night number 2 of Kids Week right here on the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. On Tuesday night, we had a great show with the driver of the number 27, 427 Motorsports, James, the high side kid, Erskine, out of Laura, South Carolina. And tonight, we have another first-time guest on our show. We're going to check in Hope Mills, North Carolina. He's the driver of the Morgan 57 Motorsports Junior Sprint car who runs at the Rockfish Speedway. Really good young man, great friend of mine. Noah Morgan, good evening, my friend, and welcome to tonight's show.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
All right, so let's talk about, first of all, you drive the number 57 in a junior sprint. So is this your first race car ever endeavor? This is the first time you've ever driven a race car before?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like your first few trips around the racetrack. Well, you've done really good, right to start with, to only be in a car, what? How many races have you run? Maybe 5, 6?
About 8.
Okay, well, so you got 8 races under your belt, and I know for sure of the last 2 that you had 2 top 10 finishes. The race before the last one, I think you finished 7th, and you finished 10th this past Saturday night, man. And, to have 2 top 10 finishes to be very new to the sport, man, that's pretty awesome. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's talk about how you got into racing. I know that your dad's been around racing for a long time, and I know you love racing because I see you at the Fayetteville Motor Speedway all the time. Let's talk about what made you want to become a race car driver.
So my family has been in the racing for a while now. It's been it's like a generation type of thing where we all just race and we all go by the number 57.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because I'm a big follower of your Facebook page, the Morgan 57 Motorsports. I always kind of look at it and kind of see what you got going on and all the cool things, man, that you're doing. But I was reading up a little bit on you yourself as becoming a new race car driver. And I wondered, as I was looking into your Facebook page, I wonder why Noah Morgan, why is it the number 57? Talk about that a little bit, because on your Facebook page, it sounds like to me the number 57 is a number that has been in your family for some time.
Yeah, so my cousin Jeff, my uncle, my pop, my other uncle, my Uncle Frank, they all raced with the number 57. My Uncle Frank raced one of those large cars.
Enduro cars.
Yeah. And my cousin Jeff, he races a 57 late model.
Oh, well, that's actually pretty cool. Well, I thought it was really neat, because it's kind of funny how sometimes things happen just at the right time, at the right place. You're at the right place at the right time and you meet the right person. The last time that we saw each other before we ran into each other last weekend at Rockfish Speedway, I happened to have an opportunity to go down to speak to you in the hot pit area at Fayetteville Motor Speedway. And I saw after the race, man, you got your picture taken with another number 57, the Zach Mitchell. out of South Carolina who came and won the big Ultimate Super Late Model deal. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool right there. That's 2 race car drivers, 2 real fast number 57. So how cool was that to be able to go down and meet Zach Mitchell?
So it was real fun. Me and him talked for a bit in the pits. We were just enjoying we followed him on Facebook, he followed us on Facebook, and we've been keeping in touch for quite a bit.
Well, that's actually pretty cool. So 257s, 2 guys who drive the number 57 have become friends, and you stay in contact with each other. So that's actually pretty neat. So whenever you guys, chat back and forth or follow each other, do y'all talk about anything in particular, or maybe just about how to make your cars faster, or what do you guys talk about?
I don't know. Really?
Just racing in general, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you that I was really, really excited last week because someone special had told me, hey, when you go to Rockfish, man, look out for the 57N. It's a guy who kind of works side by side with your dad at Fayetteville Motor Speedway. Everyone knows Fatback Matthews. And he told me, hey, listen, he said, my main man, Noah Morgan, will be running at Rockfish. Hey, make sure you look him up. So I happened to be standing on the back straightaway where you guys exit off of turn 3. And I said, there he goes. That's him right there. It's a Morgan Motorsports car. It's a 57. I said, that's Noah right there. So that's when I walked over and spoke to you as soon as you got out after hot laps. And I really, really, man, wanted to thank you publicly here on our podcast page here tonight. I wanted to thank you, man, for taking time to speak with us, because I know, man, when you get out of the car, man, you're real busy and you got a lot of stuff going on, but you took time, man, to let me take a picture of you and with your race car, and we put it on our Facebook page that we were there at Rockfish, and I just want to say thank you, man, for doing that and taking a moment to talk to us.
You're welcome.
So if I go to Rockfish Speedway again, I go over, like I said, I know you're real busy. We'll be able to chat it up a little bit and talk about racing.
Yeah, we would appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I look forward to going back to the Rockfish Speedway. I think you guys are back on the schedule again, July the 8th. Now, will you be racing that weekend?
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna be racing that weekend, and what do you think as a young driver? Because hey, look, Saturday night, 17 junior sprints, very, very competitive group of cars at Rockfish. And hey, you're a top 10 finish 2 in a row. What have you got to do to maybe get me a top 5 maybe the next time?
Maybe stick to my racing line a little bit better. Take more time and caution whenever passing cars on the high side or the bottom side. On just a 1 second guess on either they're going to go a little up high or a little bit low. It just depends on either way.
Well, and listening to you say that and to describe that, you already, even with only 8 laps under your belt, man, you already sound like a very, very experienced race car driver. Man, that's pretty cool in my book.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's talk about, it takes a lot of people, to keep a race program going and keep a race car up and, get it to the racetrack and get it cleaned and, work on it during the week and get it prepared for the next race. Let's talk about some of the people that help you on a weekly basis on the Morgan 57 Motorsports machine.
So my dad, my uncles Frank and my uncles Jeff, my pop, my cousin Luke, basically all my crew, my sister, my mom, me, and my Aunt May.
Well, like I said before, with many race car drivers and race teams, man, it takes a village, man. It takes a lot of people, to do those kinds of things. And it's really hard to do it, without sponsorship. So let's talk about some people that help you sponsor your race car, because I saw all kinds of cool names on the car. And I mean, I love that. I love that color that you've got on the car, man. It's really, really cool looking. Let's talk about some of the names you have on that race car.
So we have Luke's Creations, Complete Lock and Key. We have US Logo Works, The Barbecue Hut, JTL Services, Shotgun Barbecue, Country's Pork Skins, Raging Rooster Catering.
Good gracious, to be just a young driver, I mean, that's pretty cool, man, to have all those people on a race car that sponsor you. They must have a lot of confidence in you. What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's absolutely really, really cool. So let's talk about, Rockfish Speedway. That is the home in this area for junior sprints, kind of like a driver development program where, you got a lot of kids that are kind of learning the ropes and getting their feet wet in racing now. And I know that that's primarily probably where you're going to race for the remaining part of the 2023 season. Are there any other racetracks that you think you guys may be traveling to and racing to in 2023?
We are going to Lakeview. If Fayetteville does do a race, we'll go there. We'll keep on racing for the winter special at Rockfish and the July 7th race, and any race we can go to.
Well, Rockfish Speedway is no doubt a great place. I love it. It's such a big family atmosphere. And hey, let me ask you from like a driver standpoint. Now, the other night at the beginning part of the race, I was asked to come down and do the driver introduction for you guys. I don't think you've probably ever been a part of anything like that before because they don't do it a whole lot at Rockfish Speedway. Hey, did you like that the other night, being introduced out there in a line of cars as the race got ready to start?
Yes, sir.
Was your heart pumping, man? Was the blood pumping? Were you getting pumped up? Were you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, I could tell it, man. We walked through those kids there and called all the names. It was so cool, man, to see all the looks on the faces of all our young drivers. I call them young drivers, but I also like to call them the future of our sport because, you guys are the future, here, 5-10 years from now, we might see you in a big car running around the Fayetteville Motor Speedway. What do you think?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's talk about for 2023 season, for the remaining part of this year, what are the goals for Morgan 57 Motorsports? Some things you want to see yourself get better at, or some goals you want to reach just for yourself?
My goals are just to finish top 5 and win with the rookie points and have tons of fun, make a lot more friends, and just learn more about racing that I haven't learned yet.
Well, I'll tell you, to me, Noah, that sounds like a great plan because you may be, like I say, in the running for the rookie points in the junior sprints. And I can tell you, when you talk about, you just said it yourself, I'd like to learn more about racing. The more you can, the way you learn more about racing, in my opinion, is stay in the seat. Stay in the seat, drive as much as you can, get behind that wheel, and run every opportunity that you can to get more seat time and the experience. And I promise you, it'll pay dividends for you in the end. Don't you think?
Yes, sir. That would be a great opportunity.
It'd be a great opportunity. And you had mentioned, too, something about running in the Winter Classic. Let's talk that T-shirt you got on. Is that a Winter Classic T-shirt, man, from Rockfish Speedway? Is that from last year?
Yes, sir, it is.
That is a huge, huge show, isn't it?
Yeah. I heard a bunch of people go there.
Oh, yeah. It's a big, big crowd. And, last year, the junior sprints had a really big race on Thursday night leading up into that weekend. They call it kind of the prelude to the Winter Classic. And I hope to see you there this year.
Yes, sir, I will.
So when you come to the Fayetteville Motor Speedway, I know that's kind of like another home to you because from what I understand, from listening to some of the firefighters in the area, especially the guys who work with the Pearson Mill Fire Department, don't you do a little something down at the racetrack? You kind of help watch a corner or two. You kind of like the eyes for part of the fire department down there?
Yeah, so I play the role for the crew down at the pits as the spotter whenever they're for the fire station.
Well, I always thought it's pretty cool too, man, to see you got the fire pants on, man, and like a Pearson Mill Fire, T-shirt on, or those suspenders and all that. You kind of like the watchman. You're kind of like the watchman. You're like the crew leader there for the firefighters, with the Pearson Mill Fire Department. And do you have like maybe hopes, of one day maybe incorporated into as you grow older, as you continue to be a race car driver? Do you think that you're like a future firefighter, maybe?
Yes, sir. That's actually my dream job right there.
Wow. That is your dream job, man, to be a firefighter. Well, I'll tell you, man, firefighters are very special. Firefighters are brave. Firefighters are smart and they're heroes, man, because they save lives and they help people who are in need. And that's really cool to find a kid your age that to say, hey, that's your dream job. So saying that would be your dream job, where did that dream come from? Is that maybe because you want to be just like your dad, or what's the deal?
Just because I want to be like my dad and I want to help a lot of other people than I could now.
Wow, well, that is super, super cool. So what we're going to do, man, we're going to wrap up tonight's show. Man, you've done a phenomenal job. We appreciate so much that you took the time to be a part of this special Kids Week with us as we introduce to a lot of our viewers Morgan 57 Motorsports, Noah Morgan out of Hope Mills, North Carolina. He is a junior sprint race car driver at the Rockfish Speedway, in the running for Rookie of the Year points at Rockfish Speedway. He has back-to-back top 10 finishes. And we invite you guys to come to the Rockfish Speedway July the 8th. That is their next scheduled race. And we don't have anything going on at Fayetteville. So as of right now, on my schedule, Noah, I've got it marked down, man, to be there to watch you in that fast 57N.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about right quick before we leave, any buddies, any friends, family, grandma, pops, anybody at all that you want to say hey to on the show tonight who's probably watching.
So I want to thank my dad, my uncles, my Uncle Frank, and my Uncle Jeff, my mom, my sister, my pop, my cousin Luke, my cousin Jeff races the 57 late model in Charlotte. And we'd like to thank 57 Zach Mitchell of Zach Mitchell Motorsports and all our sponsors.
Hey, you know something I just thought of that I think is actually pretty cool? Here it is, a Thursday night show. And I have the 57N of Noah Morgan on my show. Guess who was on my show or our show last Thursday night? The 57 of Zach Mitchell out of Woodruff, South Carolina. So I got both of you guys. I had Noah Morgan and Zach Mitchell Thursday nights back to back, man. How cool is that?
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, hopefully, when we come back to Fayetteville, we'll be back in action on July the 15th to be the Carolina Clash Super Late Models. And I've already talked to Zach, and hey, since you and him are such good buddies, maybe you can confirm with him and then you can let me know so I'll know for sure. I want to find out for sure if he's going to come run in that Super Late Model race, because that's another big race coming up at Fayetteville Motor Speedway, and I know you're going to be there.
Yes, sir, I am.
Yeah, well, make sure that you reach out to Zach Mitchell for me and find out and let us know if you think he's going to come back to Fayetteville, because we really want to know.
Will do.
All right. Thank you so much, Noah, for being on the show tonight. Race fans, that is Noah Morgan, driver the number 57N of Morgan 57 Motorsports. Again, he's out of Hope Mills, North Carolina, and he races at the Rockfish Speedway. He is our special guest tonight, and we invite everyone. Hey, look, if you haven't been to the Rockfish Speedway, folks, you're missing out. It's a great family atmosphere. And again, we invite you to come out to the Rockfish Speedway. Cheer for these kids today, because tomorrow, these young men and women will be the heroes that are packing out the grandstands at a local racetrack near you on Saturday night. Tonight's show has been brought to you in part by Barrier Fencing Supply out of Supply, North Carolina. And as we close tonight's show, we're going to go to Greenville, North Carolina, and hear from our good friends at Atwell Exterior Services. Trevor Atwell and his crew they do a phenomenal job, and they are huge race fans and really, really big all across the country with dirt track racing. And as always, as we close every show, be on the lookout. We could be coming to a racetrack near you, and you could be who we're talking about next, right here on the Voice of Victory Lane podcast.
Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell ride with a winner. Congratulations to Trevor Atwell and the team at Atwell Exterior Services in Greenville, North Carolina. Atwell is the top-rated roofing and exterior renovations company in racing country, and Team Atwell has sponsored so many great racing teams for years. Ride with a winner on your roof or on the track. Atwell Exterior Services. Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell Racing. Ride with a winner.